Hello, my name is James Anderson. I've been investing and working within the wholesale and retail physical precious metals bullion industry since before the 2008 global financial crisis. For years, through online writing, podcasting, and video productions, I've helped millions of bullion buyers learn practical information on how to safely and successfully acquire physical precious metals for the medium and long term. Successfully educating potential bullion buyers also requires alerting them to crooked dealer practices ongoing in the precious metals industry. Many counterfeit bullion threats exist, and as well, there are many unethical industry scams, which were sharpened throughout the brutal bullion bear markets of the 1980s and 1990s. The physical precious metals industry operates mostly without regulatory oversight and requires real due diligence so people do not make costly mistakes.
November 2011, Santa Monica, California. City prosecutors charge precious metals retailer Goldline International with 19 counts of criminal fraud, alleging the company used bait and switch tactics to persuade customers into purchasing overpriced gold. Though most Americans buy gold in the form of jewelry, some are attempting to invest in it through online sites like Goldline.
Markups of 90 or 150%. But some people lost hundreds of thousands of dollars.
It's not a regulated industry, and so it's buyer beware, where they'll show you bullion and then get you to send funds to them. And the account manager will get on the phone and say, we think bullion's okay, but maybe you ought to look at these coins as well.
But perhaps the most alarming secret operation plaguing the gold market is the production and selling of counterfeit bullion, a practice that can be traced back to the 7th century BC, when the ancient Greeks began plating their base metal coins with precious metals like gold. In September 2012, a 10-ounce gold bar purchased for nearly $18,000 in Manhattan's Diamond District turned out to be fake, filled with tungsten, a metal worth little more than $1 an ounce.
He bought what appeared to be a Swiss gold bar, and for some reason he just was skeptical of it. It looked like a legitimate gold bar, like any other. But he drilled a hole in it, and lo and behold, once he got about a millimeter in, he hit tungsten.
So just how can investors ensure their product is pure?
What they'll use is a technology that is used for women that are pregnant. They'll measure the bar through sound, and we'll find something if it's not gold. Counterfeit gold are a growing problem in the world, and the reason is in China mainly. It's a sport over there as far as who can make the best counterfeits, and it's hard for the U.S. Secret Service to stop it.
I'm often interviewed and regularly create educational content physical precious metal bullion buyers the world over can benefit from, and you can find much of my work on sdbullion.com/blog. We are a top 5 high-volume bullion dealer in the United States of America. I can also be reached on Twitter at JamesHenryAnd. All the best to you.
Los Angeles, Miami, New York City. For gold investors looking to secure their shiny fortunes, these 3 cities now offer some of the most affordable, accessible, and highly guarded privately owned gold vaults in the world. Vaults so secret that most Americans don't even know they exist.
A lot of cases, people can walk right by a vault and not know. They are not in high-end neighborhoods. They're in blue-collar neighborhoods, in places that you would not guess.
I just think in general, 21st century, this is the biggest bull market we've ever seen for bullion, and eventually, before it's all said and done, you're going to see, I think, all 4 of the major precious metals consistently near or hitting record nominal price highs within a short time frame of one another. Something similar to what we saw in 1980, where silver and gold peaked in January, and then palladium and platinum peaked, I believe, in March or April, just a few months following. So Palladium's the first here to break out of this. But when you look at the technical shape, the long-term technical shape of these four major precious metals, gold is starting to go and move up its bowl, and silver and platinum are just barely starting up, right now. And so, I mean, when you look at these long-term charts, it's potentiality of both silver and platinum to really play some catch-up here is there. And that's why when I look at the metals complex, I think silver and platinum are really attractive if you have a high time horizon that's 5 years, 10 years, even more perhaps. I talked with various commodity traders and people who are pretty intelligent, commodity investors, and sometimes they'll say, this could stretch and take longer, and it has already, because of all the interventions that the financial powers that be keep doing, like the repo loan market, things like that. I mean, if that wasn't going on, could you imagine what would be happening right now in the financial industry? We would be back at a place where people wouldn't be loaning to one another. They'd be freezing up. It would be similar to 2007-8. So,
which we may not be far off from, given that we have repo lines going in every day. And
yeah, because in 2007, that was one of the first things that started happening. They started doing the repo loan then, and they did repo loans right before the dot-com bust. And the sheer volume and size of the repo loans now they dwarf either of those past scenarios, and they're usually just obviously a precursor to some new crisis that comes along. And so, for people to get complacent out there and think that we're forever going to have stock prices going up forever and commodities are just going to stay depressed forever, and that's just the way it is, the markets are rigged, and just quit and be a loser. That's not the way I look at it. I think to be a contrarian means you have to be wrong for like 90% of the time, and then you're damn right for like 5% of it. And that damn right part of the 5% is where you make huge gains in a short time frame. And I think that's the bet a lot of people are making, including me.